So great to see you, Kevin. Thanks so much for joining us for this digital pre-concert talk. We're really excited to see you performing here at the Meek Arts Center on Saturday evening, September 28th, 7:30 in the Grosvenor Theatre. And that happens to be the opening of our Resonate Classical Music series, but it's also the opening weekend of our 20th anniversary series. So it's great to have you part of that.
That sounds really exciting. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to see you. So I understand you've been living in Hanover, but you're back in Canada right now?
Yes, that's right. Just
Great.
visiting some family. Nice to be back.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's just get into it. We've got some questions for you here. I think people are really interested in what the life of a pianist is. So I know, you're only 19, but you've won some really big competitions, including the Franz Liszt competition in Budapest and also the Concours in Genève, among others. And you're performing all over the world. I know you're studying in Hanover right now. Tell us, what's an average day like for you as a pianist?
I don't think I have some set routine. I think every day looks pretty different. Right now, if I'm at school, I would just be practicing whenever there are rooms available. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If I have a concert, then I would travel for it. And I think it's pretty nice. It's a good balance so far.
How many hours do you practice a day on an average day, would you say?
Oh, I don't know. I think maybe four.
Four.
I
Okay.
try not to. To be honest, it's not a lot compared to some other people. So
And you managed, so that you mentioned balance. So you managed to sort of keep a balance between, I guess that would be like a work-life balance.
yeah, I think so. If you
Yeah.
can call it work.
If you can call it work, because it doesn't feel like work.
Well, sometimes it gets a bit. It feels a bit like a chore, but not so often. It's performing is always worth it, I think.
That's fantastic. And would you practice more if you're getting ready for a competition or a recital, another kind of performance, or do you
I
sort of
think so.
do that same? Yeah.
Yeah, competitions and performances feel quite different to me. I think mainly because in performances it feels like the audience is on your side, even if that's also the case in competitions. I think just because that element of being judged is there, being evaluated by numbers. So
Right. It sounds stressful.
it is, I think. Yeah.
Do you mind saying a little bit more about how you feel the audience is on your side when you're performing?
Yeah, it just feels, well, every audience feels different as well, but I think there's always that feeling of being welcomed even when you first walk out onto the stage. I think that makes quite a big difference to how I feel on the stage. And I feel like maybe I would perform better if there's a good reaction from the audience. So
That's good. So it's a conversation with the
I
audience.
think so, yeah.
Lovely. Okay, great. Um, so another thing about being a pianist that I think people don't always think of is that unlike any other instrumentalist, you don't bring your instrument with you usually.
Yes, that's right.
Some pianists do travel some
Oh,
very
really? Okay, yeah.
well. I think Angela Hewitt sometimes takes her piano with her, but most of the time you are constantly adjusting to whatever instrument is there. What is that like for you? How do you approach that? How do you find that?
I think I might be biased as a pianist, but it's nice not to carry your instrument around. It it's just one less thing that you have to worry about. But I think it's a good trade-off having to adjust to another instrument than, versus having to bring my own. I think, yeah, but there's also that element of uncertainty since you don't know what the piano will be like. But I think most of the time it's good. So
Right. And I guess it always helps if you have some rehearsal time before a
yeah,
performance. It's essential,
so
right?
I think it mostly always works out.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely have you come in and play our
That would be good.
Hamburg Star.
Oh
Actually.
yeah.
Hey, yeah, good. All right. So we're really lucky to have you, excited to have you performing Chopin in the first half of the program and Liszt in the second half. And that is really the height, I think we can agree, of romantic solo piano repertoire, Liszt, Chopin. You are a person, as we said, you're 19, so you were born in the 21st century. So can you tell us what these, paragons of the 19th century, what their music says to you? What's special about it for you?
That feels like a very big responsibility, but yeah, I don't know. Since my life, obviously, my life is very different from what their lives would have been like. So I don't know it, but I think one thing that doesn't really change is just what it means to be a human. So I think they really express what they wanted to say with their music. So I could try to do the same through interpreting what they wrote. Well, I try at least.
That's beautiful. So it's sort of human to human across the centuries.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think that's the best pitch I've ever heard for classical music.
Oh, really?
It's up there. It's beautiful. Great. So let's talk a little bit about the music that that you're playing. So you're playing variations, or in one case, an interpretation, one by each composer, Chopin and Liszt, based on the music from, or one piece from, in Chopin's case, from Mozart's opera Don Giovanni, or also we sometimes think of it as Don Juan, also known as Don Juan. And I think even people who haven't heard the opera, or don't even know opera very well, might know this theme. It's a very famous theme. La ci darem la mano. So everyone can excuse me for my Italian. And Chopin is very playful with this tune. But Liszt, the piece that is based on the music of Don Giovanni is a little bit darker. What is it? What was your thinking about it? I think it's brilliant that you put these two pieces on the same program. What was your thinking behind that? And what is the difference between the two? How do you approach them differently? It must be fun to sort of be playing a little bit of Mozart suddenly in the evening.
Yeah, I think that's a nice touch to it. I don't think I was thinking so much when I put this program together about, you know, what the two different pieces, how, the two different approaches connect with each other. I just thought, it would be nice to have Chopin's variations on it and also Liszt's paraphrase. So I think that just adds some element of unity to the program. And as for the different approaches that the two composers took, Chopin was pretty young when he wrote it, I think. So, and he also only based it on one theme from the opera. So I think, there are variations. He just sort of explores what he can do with only that one theme. And as for Liszt, he takes several themes from the opera and sort of turns it into a fantasy of his own. So
right. Right, a fantasy. That's true. Yeah, Chopin was quite young, I believe. Right? Was he 17 or something?
Something like that. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe even younger than you.
Yeah.
Great. You're opening with the very famous, very well-known Chopin Ballade #1 in G minor. This piece, people might know this piece. It's been used in a couple of films, all the way back to the 1940s for the film Gaslight, and also famously in the more recent film The Pianist, with Adrian Brody plays the pianist. And for people that remember, I think it's about 20 years old, that film, but Adrian Brody is trying to survive the Holocaust, and he's starving basically, and he comes across a beat up, bombed piano, and he starts playing this ballade. And a German, I think it's an officer, comes along, or a soldier of some kind, is completely moved by this performance and starts giving him food. And as I recall, this is sort of how that character survives. So this piece seems to really resonate with people. It seems to really resonate to a lot of different kinds of audiences. What's your feeling about that? You must have some feelings about this piece too, because you've put it right at the beginning of the program.
Yeah, again, that feels like a very big responsibility for me. But yeah, again, I don't think I thought so much about, you know, about it before when I was programming this piece. I just really enjoy it, and it also corresponds with the ballade in the second half of Liszt. So again,
Right,
that sort of adds some kind of unity to the program. So
right. And how do you feel about that piece in particular? Is it a favorite of yours, the Chopin or the Liszt?
I think so, yeah.
All
I
right.
mean,
You often perform it?
I have been, I think so. More recently, yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, we're really looking forward to hearing it.
Thank you so much.
All right. And just one more question about, you've also got the Année du Pèlerinage by Liszt. The translation is Pilgrimage to Italy. And I believe he wrote this when he was traveling through Italy originally.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Right. And the movement you're playing is based on a sonnet by the Italian poet Petrarch and Pace non trovo. I looked up this poem and I was quite moved by it. So Pace non trovo, I find no peace, and it goes on. I find no peace, but for war am not inclined. I fear yet hope. I burn yet am turned to ice. I soar in the heavens, but lie upon the ground. It goes on like that. It's all about contrast, which seems to me a great choice for a list. Right? The,
Yes.
the dark and the light. So interesting that I believe the piece was he does, there is an arrangement for voice, but this is a solo piano piece. He wrote it that way, and yet the text is inserted. This is something that Chopin didn't do so much, but Liszt famously became, did a lot of programmatic music. So there's a story to tell. Are you thinking about that poem at all, or that story, while you're working on the piece or performing the piece?
To some extent, I think I do. It certainly helps that, there's a version for voice as well. I think that really helps with interpreting how the piano version should be played as well. So, there's very clearly a lyrical melody throughout the entire piece, throughout all the three sonnets, actually. So, yeah, I think that, yeah, it's not so abstract as, maybe some other works where you would have to come up with your own interpretation of what it means, or if the listener would have to come up with their own interpretation. Here, it's nice to have a poem that you can read and sort of apply to the music yourself. So,
Wow. So is that one of the things you like about Liszt?
yeah, I think it feels, Liszt feels like home to me somewhat. I feel very comfortable with his works. So,
Wow, that's so interesting. Um, okay, so if you're up for it, I got a couple of short snappers.
okay. It's all good.
Okay, so you're an Alberta person. I was gonna say boy. You're an Alberta boy. I was an
Yeah.
Alberta girl. I'll just say that. Maybe not currently. So here's my question: hockey or curling?
I don't watch so much sports, to be honest.
Or skiing?
Oh,
No,
ski? Okay, maybe, but
maybe. Okay.
personally, I don't ski because it feels a bit dangerous to me. But actually, I haven't tried it before, so I don't know.
Okay. Did you ever skate?
A bit, but I've forgotten
Yeah.
everything. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got busy with the piano, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, so we've established you're currently in Calgary, but while we're taping this, but you are living in Germany. So my next question is sauerkraut or maple syrup or poutine? It's a bit of a nationalistic.
Definitely poutine.
Good for
A
you.
proud Canadian. No, okay, yeah. Definitely poutine.
Now, have you been able to get any poutine in Germany? I do know.
No, I
No.
have.
Do you have a favorite poutine place in Calgary?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I won't press you anymore.
Okay.
Okay, and a little bit more seriously, I suppose, you're performing here at the Meek with solo piano, but I know you also perform with orchestra. What do you prefer, if you can say? Do you have a preference for solo or playing with orchestra or chamber music?
Oh, that's a tough one. Sometimes it can get lonely on stage performing solo, so it's nice to perform with other people, to share the joy of music. So I think chamber music might be one of my favorite settings. And yeah, orchestra is also nice. But with orchestra, it sometimes feels like you're the center of attention. So
yeah,
I think chamber music is probably my most preferred.
Interesting. Well, when you're here playing solo, we'll be there with you
Yes.
in the conversation.
Yes, I
Okay.
trust you.
Yeah. All right. Now this is really pressing you. Can you answer this question? Chopin or Liszt?
Oh no.
You may
I
have
don't.
already answered it.
Mm, can, do I have to pick one?
No.
No.
It is a bit unfair.
Yes.
So you love them both equally.
I love them both equally.
That's awesome.
And they were close friends as well. So.
Correct. Right. That's right. That's special, isn't it? Thank you so much, Kevin. It's so great to talk to you and to meet you. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, and we're looking forward to hearing you here. And yeah, really excited to have you.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Okay, take care. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.